Monster in my pocket was a line of action figures, all of them tiny monsters that could, well, fit into your pocket. It didn't stop there, though. There were comic books, trading cards, a board game, and a video game released on the NES in 1992. You play as either a vampire or Frankenstein's monster, referred to simply as the monster, or both. There's a two-player co-op mode, too. The plot is hilarious. Vampire and the monster are watching TV when their arch-nemesis, Warlock, interrupts the broadcast, presumably a one-way signal as other viewers would be dumbfounded by this shit, and informs them that he sent his henchmen after them, ironically giving them a heads up on the attack. So yeah, the plot is paper thin and as unoriginal as Carlos Mencia, but it's a perfect fit for the tongue-in-cheek tone of the Monster in My Pocket franchise. It's a side-scrolling platformer, as you might expect. You traverse through areas like a giant bedroom, a giant dining room. Everything's giant, which makes sense because you're a pocket-sized monster. There are a shit ton of different monsters to deal with, which you attack with a short-range blast. There aren't any special weapons, except for a giant key that you'll find every once in a while, which is odd since you usually use keys as items to unlock doors and not as a weapon. But why not get weird with it and go the other way with it for this game? The key does a little bit more damage than your normal attack, and it has more range, but you do have less of a rapid rate. And although you can use it over and over again as often as you want, once it gets thrown off screen, it's gone. You start out with 3 lives, you have 5 hit points, and you can increase your health by grabbing the bottles with the heart icon that show up here and there in every stage. The soundtrack is pretty cool. It has that signature sound that's found in a lot of Konami NES games. The graphics are good, and the animation on your character is great, but the controls have a bit of a delay to them, and the character movements feel a little stiff, particularly with the jumping. It certainly doesn't make the game unplayable or anything, it's just something you have to calibrate to. The double jump maneuver helps quite a bit in terms of adjusting yourself. The levels are kinda bland too, at least in terms of structure. There's not a whole lot of variety, just a redundant straight path from over here to over there usually, with a platform every now and then. And as much variety as there is with the regular enemies, a lot of them are pretty interchangeable mechanically. Most of the time they just charge at you, from different angles sometimes, and different speeds, but it really just leads to you swiping endlessly as a parade of demons flock from both sides. They could have added a lot more spice by giving both you and the enemies more long-range attacks. The boss battles are boring as fuck too. The bosses generally have one pattern, and although they're not always easy because of this, they're still not very interesting, and the Stage 3 boss in particular is a monotonous fest if there ever was one. More on that later. Despite these flaws, it's still okay overall. It's a simple game that you can easily pick up and play, but it could have used some more substance, and a few problems needed to be ironed out. So the game starts out with the intro cutscene I mentioned earlier with Warlock calling out Vampire and the monster. Now, it's never specified which one is talking when the protagonists respond, but after one of them makes the confident promise to defeat Warlock, his buddy simply responds with an unenthusiastic, yeah. The punctuation confirms the tone here. The first stage is called Monsters in My House. Each stage is broken up into 2 sections, not counting the boss. The first half in this case is a bedroom. Slash away at these zombies and watch for the skeletons that roll skulls. Jump over them before taking them out, or crouch down and slap them out of the way. Scale up this boombox and grab the key. Then double jump up here onto this windowsill and continue right onto the desk where you'll find a health power-up. Slip back down and you'll meet up with some hunchbacks who leap up high on their way to trying to punch you out. Simply slash at them when they get close. You'll also encounter a witch, whose projectiles can easily be warded off with swipes. Soon after is the next area of the stage, a staircase downward. There are 2 routes you can take right off the bat. The first is right after this bottle of health on the end table, which you can scale upward to ride the rail down. Crouch down so you can slide down at a pretty quick pace and still have the reaction time to slash away at the zombies and the red lion things that both simply run towards you, and jump up to take out the flying cats before they swoop down at you. If you decide to take the stairs down, you'll move slower and have to battle through more enemies, so I don't recommend it. The boss is this pajama-wearing freak that leaps up into the air and throws knives so weakly that they defy the laws of gravity and fall to the earth slowly. He'll always fire 3 at a time, and they'll spread out as they fall, so you'll always have a better chance to slip between them the closer you are to the ground, so you don't even want to jump. Get close to him and slash him when he lands in front of you. The only knife that should be anywhere near you is the center knife, so just gauge that and keep attacking. He'll inexplicably stop to just sit there like a dumbass momentarily. Use that time to get a few free swipes, and soon enough you'll take him out. Stage 2 is Big Trouble in the Kitchen. You'll run into a horde of these big ogre bastards. They don't do anything other than walk towards you, so slash at them like you would the zombies, and jump up to kill the ghosts of Macaulay Culkin as they slowly travel down at you. Scale up this chair to grab the key, slip back down, and there'll be some health on the floor by the second chair. Scale up the following chair, and at the top you'll come across some more health. Head left to top of the table and you'll meet some imps that hurl ice cubes. Let the cubes pass over you and wipe them out. There'll also be keymasters, or gatekeepers perhaps. They'll leap up into the air like they're on the moon. Crouch down and let them jump over you. Or if you project them to land closer to you, just swipe them as they land in front of you. When you get onto the counter, you'll hit up the next area. There'll be these axe-throwing bastards that toss their weapons in an arc. Try to run under their attacks and slash them head on. Then these mini dragons will come flying by, dropping huge ass eggs that crack upon impact and bounce again. Wipe them out before they can get the drop on you. When you get to the stove, hop over the flames when they lower and take out the enemies nearby. There are 2 health bottles here, and you can find another one on the oven handle if you slip down, and then 2 more down on the floor below. Right after that is a key, which you can carry on your way to the boss, this ice monster in the freezer. He'll hurl icy magic dust, or whatever this is, and walk slowly towards you, until you hit him. Then he'll start a raging stampede back and forth until he decides to fire off some more dust. The double jump is your friend here. Use it to get over his magic dust and from him as he charges, and swipe at him from behind, then quickly leap back over him when he starts going apeshit again. Keep this process going until you put him on ice. The third stage is Crisis from Underground. The first area is a downward slope on the street. You'll start off on a stairwell. Grab the health at the bottom of the stairs as you scale down. Just be sure to ward off these flying demon things along the way. When you reach the street, these blue assholes will breathe fire at you. Jump over the fireballs and slash them down. They take 2 hits, so do it quickly. Then there'll be these golf balls that roll down the sidewalk. Who the hell plays golf out on a city street like this? Double jump your way over them, and then get ready to slash away at these flying purple creatures. They'll swoop down quicker than the red demons from earlier, so be wary of that as you jump up to take them down. You'll soon reach the next area, dropping down into the sewer. The little bastards just walk at you, but they take 2 hits, and they tend to gang up on you, so you probably ought to just double jump over them. After grabbing the health, these blue mermen will jump out of the water, usually in 2s. Watch for the splashes in the background to indicate where they come from and slash at them when they pop out. You'll then ride this lid across the liquid shit, and more of these mermen will attack along the way. Jump and kill the first, and quickly turn to kill the next. You'll deal with these guys the rest of the way up to the boss, the sea monster that just pops out of the water, which I can only assume is in the background because you're clearly standing on a platform, or maybe you're on a boat, I don't know. It'll raise up and swing its tentacles around, then lower back and then start the process all over again. Watch for the 2 splashes while it's down below. This will indicate the edges of where the monster pops out from, so make sure to jump to the outside. Then it'll just wave its tentacles around, but will never touch you as long as you're standing away from it. Then when it's on its way back down, jump over the tentacle while it's on the downstroke and take some swipes at the head of the monster. You could get up to 2 hits in. As easy as this really is, it takes fucking forever, and the monotony wears thin about a quarter of the way into the battle. You'll really wish they would have given you a goddamn key at this stage to speed up the process. Repeat this until you either shut off the power of the NES out of boredom, or you defeat it. The 4th stage is Towering Catastrophe. You start off at the bottom of this chain link fence, which you can run up the links in a diagonal direction. But before you do, head left and slap away at these red demons that just move straight ahead and grab the health drink at the end. Now scale up the fence and these flying green bastards will swoop down in a downward arc pattern. They're fast, so be ready to react quickly with your counterattack. When you get to the top, double jump over these spikes, wipe out the demons, and grab the health. Then hop on the crane and it'll take you for a ride over the spikes. You'll encounter these ugly ass bastards that traverse in these tubs or some shit. They'll move horizontally and then shift down a level coming back the other way. They come in packs, so you'll want to eliminate them as they cross paths with you. There'll be a health jar and an arrow spot down here, which you can get to. Landing will cause the crane to stop, but it's really only worth it if you don't take any hits in the process. So make sure you're within reach of the bottle before you jump so you can make both trips without getting hurt. And when you land, wait for all these pricks to get within reach and kill them all before hopping back onto the crane. Next, you'll come to a series of platforms with pits in between and these guys with hooks for hands and retractable arms that they fire forward. They take 3 hits, so you won't have enough time to kill them in one exchange. You'll have to time it so you get up close to them, give them a shot or two, and then jump to avoid the attack, preferably a double jump for safety's sake, and then move on. You want to make your initial jump to get in front of him timed at the moment that he attacks you so you'll land with enough time to get your own attack off. Soon after is the next area. You'll meet these fire-breathing lion motherfuckers. Do a double jump to get the hell up here right away so you don't have to bother with them, and then jump up here and scale the beams upward. These goblins will try to kill you via dropkick. Get close enough to trigger their attack, back away, and double jump over them because they take a few hits which can easily damage you even if you swipe at them fast. When you get to the top, you'll run into some more of the fire lions and a pair of health potions. One right away and one at the end of the path leading into an elevator, which will take you up. Along the way, more of the flying green bastards show up, only this time they're brown. Slash at them in succession quickly, and when you arrive at the top, grab the 2 health cans before heading up the boss. This gremlin will use the crane you rode earlier as a means of transporting himself and firing a series of 4 blue projectiles at you. He'll enter from one side and then leave a different way. There are 5 variations here. He'll either swoop down from above and head right, or straight back up. He can enter from the left and continue moving toward the right, or go straight up from there. Or he could come in from the right and continue left, which is the biggest pain in the ass of all of them because the orbs get in the way of your jump, since your main objective once the crane starts moving again is to jump over the hook part. The good news is when he comes in from the right, then you know for sure which way he's going, so get ready to try to squeeze yourself through at that point. When he does the other variations, just back away a bit so you have time to react in case he heads towards you, all the while slipping between the projectiles. When he becomes stationary, that's when you want to attack. Give him a couple shots and then ready yourself for the escape. It's not easy, you have to be able to react at all times, but at least it won't put you to sleep like the last battle. Keep this process up until he's done for. Stage 5 is Oriental Illusion. You'll meet up with these red dog-faced monsters that walk slowly but take 2 hits, and these green guys with spears come flying down from above, land, and then try to punch you. You'll want to traverse slowly through this area, because you'll cause more of them to spawn if you move too fast. Stop, kill, and then move on. You don't want to be taking on an onslaught of these fucks. You'll then come across 3 long pits. Double jump over them, kill the green bastard on the first one, and grab the health jar. You'll then reach a barbed wire fence. Carefully maneuver your way between the barbs and jump up. There'll be a screw you can use. It's effectively the same as the key. You'll meet these red-winged flying fucks that have freaking laser beams attached to their heads. Toss the screw at them, or wait until you're at about the angle to lure them in to take their shot and dodge that shit before killing them. Stay up here and grab the 2 health jars on these statues. Then slip back down, and these gold assholes will walk in whatever direction you're facing. So all you have to do is face them, but then these bastards show up to complicate matters. Slow and steady wins the race here too. Make a few steps, turn around and let them walk away, then turn back, and although they'll keep following you, all you have to do is turn quickly. That way if these red pricks show up from the other side, you'll at least have enough time to react to them without getting engulfed by the goldies, and soon enough you'll cross over to the next section. Hop up immediately for a health bucket, grab the screw, and wipe out all the dogmen. You'll then encounter these brown weird looking bastards that move behind pillars and throw bones at you. Keeping the screw really helps here, as these guys can sneak up on you from both sides at the same time, and you won't even see it coming thanks to their stealthiness. This is another one where you want to move slowly so you don't bring in too many at once. Double jump over their bones and swipe at them when they charge. Keep in mind they take 2 hits. Then after grabbing this health jug, these cyclopes will jump out of the walls in the background. They don't do anything significant other than try to take you by surprise, and they only take 1 hit. So just be ready for them, slash them when they do pop out, and then there'll be a few more of these bone chuckers before the boss. At least this time they can't hide. The boss is a witch who starts everything off with 4 doppelgangers, and of course you don't know which one is the real one until she fires off her rings of doom, at which point the others disappear and she gives chase. Stand in the center so you can react quickly enough from any of them, dodge the attack, and take a swipe if there's an opening. Careful when she comes in horizontally, double jump over her. If you get hit with the rings, you'll freeze in place and inevitably get hit by her when she flies at you. Keep this process up until she's dead. The 6th and final stage is the last battle at Monster Mountain. You'll fall down a long pit underground and be confronted with a T-Rex right off the bat. He's huge, breathes fire for some reason, and takes 3 hits. You can jump over him with a double jump, but he follows you, and you'll soon be faced with more of them in a low ceiling situation, so you can't at this point. Crouch down to avoid the flame, fire like a madman, and retreat before finishing him off with another swipe. In the low ceiling situation I just mentioned, there'll be these droplets of deadly water that fall from the ceiling. Try to lure the Rex under an area where it's dry so you don't have to worry about this, and watch for an opening to pass by the droplets. Then you'll meet these big bulls. They only take 1 hit, but they try to throw you off by pausing for a second before charging quickly. Be ready for it and take them down. Then the floor will raise up to the ceiling of spikes. Crouch down when it does this and attack the bulls that come from either side. Soon after are these weird-ass flying 4-headed snake demons that spit lightning at you. As soon as you see one, stop to kill it, because if you press on, you're gonna get stuck fighting 2 of them at once. You will have to deal with the bulls while you fight them sometimes, but that's better than 2 snake demons. Anyway, try to stay directly underneath it because its attack will travel at a diagonal angle, and do a double jump to get up there and attack it. They take 3 hits to kill, so be patient. Grab the 2 health packages and you'll end up on an elevator traveling down. These red beasts will appear at the windows and try to attack you. Simply stand against the wall and swipe at them as they jump towards you. They only take 1 hit. After the elevator stops, you'll have to deal with a couple more T-Rexes and move on to the next area, which is nothing more than a gauntlet of the previous 5 boss battles. You'll get a pair of health jugs to start the series of battles, but you won't get jack shit until you're done with all 5 of them. You'd think at least 1 health bar in between each fight would be in order. Anyway, the battles are the same. Repeat the strategies as earlier for each of them, and after finishing off the witch, grab the 2 health bottles on your way to the final boss, Warlock. He'll hover in the air, and as soon as he raises his arms, he'll cast a bolt of electricity at you, then disappear before reappearing in a different spot. Double jump to give him a shot before he fires, providing you have enough time, and then stand at a medium distance from him before he attacks. That way you have more time to react to it, but you also don't corner yourself by luring his attack way off into the wall and giving you no place to land after dodging his attack. If you're lucky, you can get 2 shots on him, before and after his attack. Keep this up until you finish him off. You'll then get a congratulatory text, and you pick up where you left off before getting interrupted last time, watching TV. When suddenly Warlock appears on the screen again, turns out he survived the battle and promises to destroy you. This doesn't open the door up for a sequel now, it's actually the final boss for real this time. And you fight him through the TV, so are you killing him or your own television? Anyway, he'll shoot a pair of fireballs from his eyes right as they flash. Jump and slash at his head first, then quickly jump and dodge the fireballs. On your way down from the jump, wait till you're halfway to the ground before executing the double jump. This will give you more time to maneuver yourself where you want to land to avoid the henchmen that summon right after the fireball attack. Warlock will fade from view on the screen before returning, and that's when you want to start the process over again. Keep this going until he dies, and you'll sit down and watch the credits roll on the TV screen. And that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.